Hey, this is Scott from PlanetScott.TV, and we're about to have the press tour. We're here on the main floor for Free Play Florida, and today's day one. This is going to give you an overview of everything that's happening throughout this entire thing by Brandon. He's one of the organizers. So I'm going to turn the camera around.
Yeah. I'm Brandon Specht. I'm one of the coordinators of the event. I know most of you, so that's why I invited you. And many of you signed up to come into this, so I really appreciate you coming. Ryan, who should be standing next to me.
I'm really shy though, so.
Rob Alvey couldn't be here tonight because he's got some Disney pressing, whatever. So Ryan has agreed to accompany us on the tour. We're going to go through today, and I'm going to show you some of the cool things that we're going to have on the floor this year. Obviously, this is night number one. Many of you already know that Free Play Florida is not only is it a non-profit organization, well, White Amusement is a non-profit organization that puts on Free Play Florida. None of us get paid, we're all volunteers. All the machines that you see on the floor are brought in by members of the community that just want people to enjoy the machines. And we got some interesting machines this year, don't we, Ryan?
We have plenty, including, well, you'll see for yourselves.
Yes.
Very good, thank you. I don't know what they're called.
But how many people have been to Free Play Florida before? And even more exciting, how many people, is this your first time? Yes! Very, very, very cool. Free Play Florida has exploded over the past 6 years. Many of you may have been with us since the Doubletree Resort. Well, now we're here at the Caribe Royale Resort, and it has just gotten bigger each year, and I'm very, very proud of all of the growth that we've seen at the event. And we couldn't do it without people like these people back here who have been with us for so many years. Again, just doing it because they love the community. And by the way, all the merchandise behind them is for sale. And that money goes into the nonprofit. Behind you, if someone would like to try it out, and hopefully you can buy this is our pinball exhibit this year. Many of you may know this already, but David Crane, Gary Kitchen, and Dan Kitchen, the Activision guys, are out here at the event this year. Matter of fact, I'm picking them up in 2 hours from the airport, and they are a big part of what we're doing this year. People are super excited to see them at the event, and we're going to be having a photo op with them on Sunday, right here in front of this really, really cool. Everybody knows the game, right? I don't have to. Pretty obvious. So, over here, for any of you Stranger Things fans, we have our lovely, lovely, this is from last year, if you were here last year, the Stranger Things arcade sign from season 2 of Stranger Things. And one of my favorite things that we put together was, because it's easier to sell merchandise in a game, this really, really cool machine that gives out merchandise for the event. Again, plugging the merchandise. So at this point, we're going to make it into the hall. Ryan, did you have anything to add?
No. But
hey, very good. So, since it's my tour, I'm going to take you to my favorite thing that's here this year for the first time, and it's right over this way. It's the Mold-O-Matic machine. If you're familiar with these mold machines, I don't know all the technical terms, but it's a plastic wax resin thing that you may have seen these way back in the day. This Disneyland one is a real Disneyland one. Like, this is not a replica. This is, I mean, it's obviously been worked on, but it's a real deal Disneyland Mold-O-Matic. This one here, as you might recognize, this one's actually a replica of the Sinclair motor oil Mold-O-Matic that was used at the 1964-65 World's Fair. And you can see in this moment, way faster than any 3D printer, they produce these really, really cool toys. And what's cool is, this is local. There are only 2 people in the country who still work on these machines, and one of them lives right down here in Florida. And he was nice enough to bring this up. He'll be here tomorrow and the next day making these things. You make a charitable donation. I don't know what the donation goes to. He will tell you. And you get one of these really cool toys. If you want to know anything about the history, you can go ahead and check out the sign. We're going to continue walking. Alright, next up, we're going to walk up that way. Marcy's next. We have a number of different sponsors this year, and I'm going to do my best to remember all of them. And if I don't, Ryan's going to remember the ones I forget. That's not going to happen.
I have to meet the first one.
Lowry Arcade, out here at the event. If you've been here before, you know the main attraction for most people is all the arcades and pinball machines. As we go through, keeping close eyes, because you're going to see a lot of rare machines in addition to the classic ones that we grew up with. Take a look at some of the vendors as we go through as well. This will also be my first time seeing the vendors. You'll notice that there's a good mix of both modern, retro, and super retro arcade games as we go through here. One of the highlights for a lot of people is, and many of you have seen this before, is the 10-foot tall Star Wars arcade cabinet, which is currently being worked on by Mark Steiner. You may know Mark Steiner from SeaWorld. He runs the place. This was the first 10-foot tall arcade cabinet we built way back at the Star Wars Celebration. Anybody remember when Star Wars Celebration was here in Orlando? Free Play Florida, the members of Free Play Florida were invited to bring out a number of different arcade and pinball machines featuring Star Wars to the 501st Bash. And we thought to make it even more special for people, we decided to build a 10-foot tall Star Wars arcade cabinet, and it became a tradition to build 10-foot tall arcade cabinets, something that we started doing and now has become quite common. It's making noises. It's impressive by size, and if you play it, you feel like a kid again. Speaking of Star Wars, good segue, Ryan.
Thank you very much. That's why I make the big money.
How many people have been out to Echo Base in the Milk District? If you haven't, I highly recommend you do this. These guys here are super, super cool. They run a place called Echo Base, and they sell all your favorite old toys. Very small shop, but they do cool things like build Han Solo and Carbonite. Hi, Scott.
Hello.
That's Scott.
From Echo Base?
Scott from Echo Base.
Scott from Echo Base.
They're all filming you. You love that, don't you? I know you love being filmed. All right, continuing down here, we're going to pass Cybertron. If you buy retro games locally, you're probably familiar with these guys. Also behind you, a Ninja Turtle arcade cabinet. Oh, yeah? It's also very impressive.
Through. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do like last week.
We're gonna pass a number of different talented individuals. And if you want, you can wave as we bring them by.
Big bright square, by the way.
As we come around the corner, you can see another collection of arcade cabinets. This is going to be probably one of our biggest years in terms of arcade and pinball machines. Again, our event oftentimes happens the week before or week after IAPA. So tonight you may see some more games coming onto the show floor from IAPA. We're very fortunate that we have a lot of supporters in that event that will bring out the newest pinball machines and some of the other wacky stuff that they're building. Just cool stuff. We're going to walk over here and we're going to see some really cool live painting. Marcy, I brought the tour over for the live painting. Okay, we're good. You can see he took 5, he took a break, but the lovely Robo Ono is working on a really cool Hubert design. Now we're going to check out some of the pinball machines. This is what a lot of people are interested in. Here's Chris Brown. I imagine many of you already know him. One of our coordinators. Looking at some of the pinball machines, how many of you have had a chance to actually get on any of these tonight?
Not yet. I will.
Okay, a lot of really cool pinball machines. Deadpool. Roller coaster type Ghostbusters. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. As I said, it's a mix of classic, newer machines. In just a moment, we're going to go around the corner and see some of the guests, and hopefully they give us a wave or something cool. Or maybe free swag. It might not happen. Very good. As I said, Free Play Florida is a nonprofit organization, and all these machines are brought in by local collectors. So a lot of people ask us before the event, what machines are coming out to the event? Well, we don't actually know until they show up a lot of times. Oftentimes we do reach out for certain machines that we know we want because certain developers are here, but we never really know until the day of. We're gonna walk down here and we're gonna start meeting some of our guests. We're gonna see who's at their tables. This is a part that's still all the IAPA stuff is gonna appear in here later tonight. That's why it seems kind of empty right here. We were talking about Hubert just a few minutes ago. We're gonna go over and meet Warren Davis. He is the creator of Hubert. His buddy Jeff Lee, who actually did the art for Hubert, will be here this weekend. He's also a very talented artist and magician, and that's not a joke. This is the great Warren Davis. That is Hubert, the actual Hubert. If you get a chance this weekend, definitely come by and say hi.
Yes, I'll be here all weekend. Lovely to see you all.
I should have. Yeah. Hello. So you got a new book out, which you're going to be selling at your tables this weekend. Very exciting.
I am quite excited. What?
He said that's how he talks. I've heard him talk. That's what he's telling the truth. Over here is the talented George Lowe. If you went on the press tour last year, you got to see him. Jet chicken, by the way, right there. Jet chicken.
The white duck, and it's like a federal import.
Oh, there.
Oh, yeah. I'm the boy.
Not looking at anyone in particular. I'm excited to see the Angry Video Game Nerd. This is his second year at the event. It's also Warren's second year at the event. A lot of our guests are return guests. A lot of our guests actually ask to come back, which is a very good problem to have. Angry Video Game Nerd, he's also brought his friend Justin Silverman to the event today. Our main stage, Michael at the main stage. Warren's doing all the
see.
Many of you know this like the most popular location for arcades and pinball right now.
Correct.
Pinball Lounge has been with us for many, many years. If you haven't been to the Pinball Lounge yet, I highly encourage you to get out there. Great human beings. They got a couple of guests at the Pinball Lounge booth. You have Chris Franchi, who's the artist that did the artwork for Munsters. Also did the artwork for Batman 66, one of my favorite ones. Definitely meet him, check out his artwork. Next to him, since we were talking about the Munsters pinball machine, you can also meet Butch Patrick. Tell us some facts about Butch Patrick.
Well, Butch Patrick, if you were not aware, was Eddie Munster back in the day. And most people don't realize that is not makeup. He was actually a small werewolf. Small werewolf.
You're so much better at this than I am. All right, we're gonna come around the corner. How many fans of Mortal Kombat are here? Okay, so everybody, this is gonna be great. I got to pick up this man at the airport today, and he's literally the happiest person you're ever gonna meet. Yes, that's right. Somebody who engages in Mortal Kombat is the happiest person you'll ever meet. And I just told them that you're on the roster at Mortal Kombat, you're the happiest member of the roster.
Now line up, he's gonna Johnny Cage everybody, starting with you.
Yeah, I'll warm it up and use the left because the right is powerful.
Ready, here we go.
You got caged.
Literally the most pleasant airport drive from the airport that I've had. It was awesome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
First time at the event, correct?
Yes.
I'll be here all weekend.
So we're super excited to have him at the event this year.
Yeah, thank you.
He's been on our list for a while. We're super excited to have him out. Thank you so much, Daniel, for coming to the event.
Thank you.
If you're walking around later,
Now get out of here.
the next
Well, let's come and say what's
this
up, bro.
weekend, you'll be able to meet the Activision guys,
I'm here all weekend.
Dan Kitchen, Gary Kitchen, David Crane. I'm trying to think of this. That's a lot of the big stuff. We go around the corner here. How many people recognize the giant reactor? So that was built by, again, our volunteers here at Free Play Florida.
Recognizer.
Did I say recognizer? What did I say?
I said reactor.
I'm sorry, reactor's an arcade machine. Recognizer is the thing from Trump.
Lots of geek cred there.
Wow. But I did have a hand in building it. That's why they turned my side on the inside to let people see it. But the front side looks amazing. So as we walk around, definitely check it out. We're gonna peek inside there. Do I have any fans of the movie Tron? There is a ridiculous amount of real deal memorabilia inside there. So if you get a chance to walk through, please do. Please don't take anything. It's amazing.
Where's Greg? There is a game that you have over here that I understand is one of 3 copies of this game in existence.
I didn't know that.
Does anyone want to see that particular game? Very rare game.
We're going to see that.
Go see it.
I'm going to learn this with you. Oh, yeah.
Marble Madness right here.
Thank you.
3 of these in existence.
Thank you.
I do what I can. There you go.
Did you all know that there was a sequel to Marble Madness? This is Marble Man. And as you can see, it is a multiplayer Marble Madness. It was at the event last year. You couldn't play it last year, but this year, one of our amazing collectors brought it out, and you can actually get your hands on it and actually play things. How many people remember the original Mortal Kombat? Marvel Madness. How many people
well.
Yes. How many people remember that? It was a hard game. It had like 5 levels or something like that. You still competed. All right. So I guess we're gonna walk down here, and then we're gonna head over to the indie developers, check out Billy Mitchell, check out the Donkey Kong, and then our cool videographer. Hi, Rob. Everybody, Rob Bellamy. Yeah. Any of you guys already know this guy. They're awesome. They're gonna join us with the first one? I think so, yeah. Great. All right, we're gonna head over to Indie Alley.
You're watching the press tour at Free Play Florida.
Ready? Locally,
No, you're part of this. Don't you can't stand aside. No.
locally, there are many indie developers, but there's one that stands above all of them. It's not Remy Crespo, but Remy Crespo is here. And that wasn't a short joke that time, that was just... Remy has been working with Free Play probably the longest out of all our indie developers.
Me and Brian, we've been working as well.
Yeah, and he's been working on Floppy and Sleepy Planet. If you get a chance to actually look at the game, it is a gorgeous game. He's got awesome 3D print models. I definitely recommend you take a moment to actually see just one of our local developers that really make Orlando an amazing, amazing place.
And all this game, all the stuff that you see here, this is all done out of our own pockets. All the figurines were all made and fabricated by ourselves. All the events that you see that we do this out of our own pockets. We actually will be going to PAX for the first time this year in January. And we've actually started doing a Patreon community for people that have been asking to play test the game over and over. So if you want to go ahead and see updates and support us as developers, it helps us continue developing the game if you can help, kind of spread the word about it. So if you like it, please come by, come play, tell your friends, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. If you really like the game, buy a t-shirt or figurine. If you really want to support us, join the Patreon. It helps us, every little bit helps.
Much like Free Play Florida, these indie developers that work locally, it's all passion driven. So that's one of the reasons why the connections there with the indie development scene is because, we feel the same thing when doing this event. Also, he's located near some really cool things. We have Arcade Monsters, yet another location in Oviedo where you can play video games. And
Where are you from?
Huh?
Where are you from?
I live here.
Oh, cool.
I'm probably like 10 minutes away from our
Have you been? No?
Yeah, Simple Plan.
if you've got an longer day, please make sure you take an opportunity to walk during the course of the weekend. Walter's one of the people who really fuels events just like this. The reason why we do events just like this. I mean, you really have been kind of the heart and soul of the whole community. Yes. So he's super cool. If you haven't had a chance to talk with him, take a moment.
Come over and talk to me.
Probably the most sincere human being you're ever going to meet.
That's very
fair? That's fair, guys?
sincere to say that.
His friend Triforce behind here. Hi, Triforce.
Thank you.
I mentioned that we built a number of different 10-foot tall arcade cabinets. This is our 10-foot tall Donkey Kong. This is the third one that we built. There is also a Tron. If you ever go down to the Replay Museum in St. Pete, you're gonna see our 10-foot tall Tron. That one was, when we built it, it's not nearly as mobile as the other ones. It's wicked heavy. Every time we disassemble it and reassemble it, there's always the chance that it will collapse and kill somebody. So we decided just to leave it at the Replay Museum. But this one was when we got to the point where we developed it's very lightweight. We put casters, if you get a chance to peek behind it, we have casters in the back, so when we have to move it around, we got to the point where we're able to just tip the whole thing over and slide it through doors. So this is third time out. You finally learn from all your mistakes and make it work. So, and it gets a lot, I think this one actually gets the most love. Right, Ryan?
Yes, sir. I love it. I love it.
We're gonna take a brisk walk through the console section. Please check that out. Oh, Billy Mitchell. Get the thumbs up.
Hardest working man in show business right there.
You're right.
Be on stage.
What?
Be on stage.
Yes, exactly. Make sure you're around in about 15 minutes. Near the stage. Billy's got some amazing stuff planned out for you that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Walking through here. This is just our console area. I don't say just our console area. Again, a lot of our friends have brought out some really cool games. We have a lot of really awesome vendors that came out to our events. So definitely take some time to check out all this stuff. For those of you who were last year's event, you might remember that this area was not part of the main hall. Well, we've had so many machines added to the event that we had to make sure we had room. So this area actually got knocked out. We got the rooms across the hall, that I'm going to show you in a minute. And it gave us a lot more room for more games.
Free water.
Ryan wants me to tell you to stay hydrated.
I learned about
So stay hydrated. Ryan said stay hydrated.
for your health. The cups are 50 cents a piece.
We're going to go out in the hallway and then I can stop using this abomination.
Where's our pinball people? Pinball people.
I know, we definitely
believe you butchered this. I'm sure right over here. This is the highlight for you guys.
Mr. Dan, we already went in and said hi.
I'm sure you probably have.
So as you guys may know, we have a very, the word I would use, a very high stakes pinball tourney that happens every year. So we always like to make sure they have a separate area where they can actually play their games. I would recommend that if you have a moment to just peek your head in. I wouldn't go too far in though, because it gets very, very intense in there. And I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just these guys are playing for, in some cases, a lot of money. So they take their pinball very, very seriously. And it's one of the reasons why, over the past 6 years, we've decided to move them out from the main hall and give them their own space, which has helped quite a bit.
Brandon tap dancing, ladies and gentlemen.
Over here is our panel room. Nothing going on right now, but I did want to tell you some of the cool things that we have going on this weekend. One of the things that separates Free Play Florida from other arcade events, and the reason why many of you who have been in past events continue to come to Free Play Florida is because, unlike other arcade events, we do a lot of wacky stuff. And just to give you an idea, tonight will be the first ever Dad live concert at Free Play Florida. Our friend Dad.
Is anyone here familiar with YouTube sensation Dad? Okay, we got a couple over here.
He is going to do a concert tonight when the show closes. He is going to go into the panel room at 11 o'clock and do Dad Feels Live, which will be super exciting. A lot of music. It's going to be a full concert thing, as I understand. I have not seen it yet. I will at the same time as you.
We've got a little bit of time before that, so at some point tonight, take your phones out, jump onto YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
Check out Dad. It's just Dad, spelled the normal way.
Yep. He looks suspiciously like Nathan Barnett, so if you know who Nathan Barnett is, you'll find it. Inside there, we'll also have game shows tonight, so if you have time, you want to check out one of our game shows. We have the Classic Arcade Quiz. We have Angaku Overdrive is doing a Name That Tune video game edition, so if you like video game music, there's going to be prizes for people in the audience. Over the course of the weekend, we're going to have a number of different panels that involve all of our guests that are here at the event. Some of the highlights for me, are there any highlights for you? I should ask that first, that would be polite.
Well, I don't know how much I'm allowed to give away. Are we talking about What is taking the place of Rampage live on stage? Are we allowed to talk about what's taking place?
Yes, that be appropriate.
Okay, well, it's Streets of Stage is coming up tomorrow evening at about what time? 10 o'clock, I want to say. 11.
That's a very good question. While you're tap dancing, I will think in my head and try to remember what time it is.
Streets of Stage, by the way,
10
every
o'clock.
year Nathan Barnett or one of his cohorts will host live theater, and we're talking very heady stuff, very highbrow theater, where they will bring members from the audience. It could be you, it could be you, it could be you. I'm not sure about you, but you can come out on stage and you can participate yourself. And this year it's Streets of Stage.
Streets of Stage, how to defeat Daniel Placino. So,
And we all just met Daniel a few minutes ago.
yes,
Johnny Cage.
He ends up a real nice guy. I really feel bad that we're going to have to learn how to beat him up.
Yep. We're going to finish him.
Keith is teaming up with the longest running American Ninja Warrior in Florida. His name is Rico Rivera, and the two of them are going to show that you some classic arcade moves that will help you defeat Daniel Placino. It will involve some crowd interaction, as I understand. It will involve you standing up and kind of practicing your moves. So that'll be tomorrow at 10.
We need to keep it quiet. Daniel doesn't know that we're going to defeat him yet, so that's our little secret, just right here, okay?
We also have the very, very popular Cinemasker panel. Was there anybody who attended the Cinemasker panel last year? The Cinemasker panel was standing room only. It was huge. And that's another one of our big panels. Tony Temple just walked by.
Hello. I'm sorry.
Press tour.
Anybody ever play Missile Command? Well, you're wrong. It's not pronounced Missile Command. It's pronounced Missile Command. Because he's from the UK. He is one of you're the best Missile Command player in the world, or second best, or third best.
Well, yeah. Well, I hold the world record on missile command.
Statistically speaking,
Statistically,
you are.
I am,
Yes.
but yes, I suppose you could say that.
And you're hosting a game show tonight, the Classic Arcade Game Quiz.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's going to happen and
sure.
who's going to be involved?
That takes place in about 25 minutes, correct?
Yeah, 25 minutes. So it's the classic arcade gaming quiz. Now, you would think having clever people who are able to answer questions about classic arcade games would be incredibly dull with someone just blurting out answers. The whole point is the people on the panel really don't know that much, but they're recognisable classic arcade game celebrities. So it's kind of a quiz in reverse, that the idea is no one's going to get the answers, but everybody learns something along the way, so we actually show the answer and explain why that's the answer. We did it last year, it's very, very popular, and we've kind of turned the mix up a bit this year, and we've got additional interesting interactive rounds, so it's going to be good. Looking forward to it.
Tony Temple, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay, guys.
Tony's been with our event for a number of years. We've since brought him on because he's just one of those awesome people who just kind of gets what we're trying to do here at Free Play Florida. And we consider our press people, you are also some of those awesome people who understand what we're trying to do here and just bringing back the feeling of the classic arcade. As I said, there's a lot of events. I could go into them all, but there's a number of different ways you can check out to see what the event schedule looks like. You can check out our event page on Facebook, and all the event schedule is pinned on the very top. You also have the option to download the Free Play Florida app. I'm understanding that the iOS is still being updated. We're waiting for that update to go through. All of the times are right, but they still have last year's dates on them. So if you get iOS, it's still the right times. It'll just say November 9th, 10th, and 11th, because Apple's hard to deal with.
Time travel, ladies and gentlemen.
Other than that, I appreciate all of you coming out to the press. If you have any questions, please let me know, because we want to make sure that, I know you guys are giving a lot of information about the event, and I just want to make sure that you are able to do that to the best of your ability. So if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Other than that, I appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.